because I came on. We were doing real well, and then my dog decided because I wasn't paying any attention to her, she was going to go poop on my floor. So I had to just clean that up because hey, God save the chef. Thank you, Dr. Candace, for coming back. Yes, I had to come back. I'm back on, and I'm on YouTube as well. So I had to clean that up. So I'm sorry if y'all went out, came back in, all of that great stuff. Phonetically spell your name if you wanna. No, I got it, Toya. So I had to regroup. Hey, Coach K, I had to regroup. So thank you guys so much for coming in. Please share out the broadcast again. I rarely will I end a broadcast because of something my dogs do. But that was just unacceptable. I'm just kidding. No, I know. Thank you, Glow, for inviting your followers. So thank you guys so much for coming back. So like I was saying before Callie really interrupted us. It's a small dog. Hey, Derek, it's a small dog, and she's super needy. Desiree. Oh, hey, Desiree. Thank you so much for those of you who this is your first time on my scope. I'm sorry I just came on, and then I had to get off because I have 2 small dogs, and I have a dog that acts like a child, and when she's not getting attention, she does things so that she can get my attention. Her name is Callie. Like the state California, her name is Callie, and I have another dog whose name is Jax, like the city Jackson in Mississippi. Excuse me. Hey, Just Gifted, thank you for inviting your followers. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am Dr. Ebony. I'm a lifestyle and weight management specialist. I provide coaching and consulting for people who are looking to create a healthy lifestyle. I say create on purpose because we absolutely can create the life we want. Hey, Queen, we can create the health we want. We have the power to change, and we don't have to be what people think we are or what we have destined ourselves to be. We can change that path, change that trajectory, and we can actually do something about our health, especially if it's poor. Create. Yeah. Okay. Oh, no. She said, goes in the corner and minds my business. So I lost 52 pounds, and then I helped my sister lose 67 pounds, which is now 70 pounds so far. And we are on a mission to help women create healthy lifestyles, because if they can do it, they can teach their children to do it. Okay, and they can teach their children's children, and we leave a legacy of health. I don't come from a family where we have a legacy of health. I don't come from a family where we talk about health very often. Only when somebody passes away, only when somebody gets sick, do we talk about it. So I decided that I was too big, and I didn't want to be that way, and I decided to do something about it. I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want to look that way. I didn't want to feel that way. Thank you, Candace, for coming back. I did not want to have my life end up in a place where I was sick and on high blood pressure pills in my 50s. I just didn't want to do it. So I decided to do something about it and create the life that I wanted, and I did that. And so I'm helping you do the same thing. I help men as well. She said, show the picture. Hey, Shatana. She said, show the picture, friend. So I always got to show the picture for people who are new before we get started into content. Shatana is my good friend. She was like, show your picture, friend. Show your picture, because it absolutely can be done. And for those of you who are new, I will show you guys what it looked like. So I'm 34. I'll be 35 on the 20th of this month. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday I'll be 35 years old. Like, time is flying by. So that's me. This was actually the picture that made me lose weight. And then this was the picture that this was my sophomore year, my senior year, and then that's me today. So thank all of you for coming in. I do appreciate you being here. And I hope that you stay a while. Thank you, Carla. And I'm going to talk about a lot of this stuff today. Like, y'all see the physical, but not many people know about the emotional. Not many people know about the mental. Not many people know about that. So I'll show before and after pictures of what that looks like. But tonight I want to talk to you guys about before and after pictures as it relates to your insides, your emotions, your mental, that type of thing. You're welcome. So that's what I want to talk to you about, okay? Because a lot of this stuff is going on. She said you can wash clothes. I don't know about that, Dason. Thank you, Keisha, for coming over to Periscope. That's my sister right there, Kiki Coyle. She's lost 60 pounds. I'm going to try to find her pictures, too. That's her, Kinky Coles, and she's done an excellent job. So we'll see if we can find her pictures. And we come from a family, same mom, same dad, where it just was not talked about. And so she's lost 70 pounds. And she gets me together every time. She's like, girl, you going to give me my 3 pounds. So we come from a family where we actually had to create the health that we have, the bodies that we have, because we haven't always been that way. So I'm going to show you guys her picture here in a minute. So that's my sister there. That's Coach K there. And if you don't believe you can create this stuff, you just stick around. She said, yes, I work for those pounds. Let me give you your pounds, girl. So it absolutely is possible. Absolutely doable. So just stick around and we're going to talk about all of that. Jay Bradford said, wow. So y'all never get to see my sister. When I talk about it, she's like this mysterious person back in the background of the business. But that is what she looks like. He said, want to be inspired. I told you my sister, we got to get her to the forefront, y'all. If y'all follow us on Facebook, then she she actually is very active inside of the Facebook group, but she's not active on Periscope. I'm the one with the mouth of the sisters, and so she's the quiet one. She's on she's on Facebook, and she does a lot of the posting and things on Facebook. But what we did, she'll tell people that the right is not me. The right is her. That's not me. That's her. Both of those are her. That's not me. That's my sister. Both of those are her. Thank you, Dr. Candace, for coming back. So she'll tell people that she was my first ever client, and she was. She was my first ever client. Hey, Queen Angie. Thank you for coming in. She was my first ever client, and we actually helped her get to where she is now by setting goals, all of that stuff. So I want to talk to you guys tonight about some of the things that we both dealt with, but I want to talk to you about me. She can chime in, hey, Sunrays, if she wants to tell about her. But I'm really going to talk about me and what I went through in a lot of ways that I helped myself out. My younger sister is the same way. She's the mouth. Right, Candace? Those younger sisters just can't sit down. I love you back, Angie. I love you back. Thank you, Coletta, for inviting your followers. I appreciate that. And thank y'all so much for the hearts. So if you are somebody who this is your first time and you want to know more about what we do, you want to know more about how we can help you, go to the link that's in my bio and sign up for a free discovery session so we can get to know you, get to know what you're struggling with, and put a plan in place that you can actually use to see some results. You're welcome. We gotta address this topic. Like, people think that you are immune to it because you are a psychologist or because you've done these things. So for those of you who don't know me, this is your first time, I am also a psychologist. So I also practice psychology. And a part of what helped me to get to where I am is learning a lot about myself through my training as a psychologist. So I want to share some of that stuff with you tonight to help you gain some insight on, I cannot help you gain some insight on what it is that you're doing. Maybe you're stuck and you don't know why you're stuck, or maybe you are struggling and you don't know really why you're struggling, and I can help shed some light on what I did. Okay? For those of you who are here as well, I knew Andrew was going to get it together. For those of you who are new as well, if you want to get on my list to get recipes, you want to get on my list to get deep discounts, especially discounts that are only for people who are on my list and in my communities, you can also go to the link that's in my bio and sign up for the link that says freebies, recipes, products, and more, okay? Okay, so let's get into it. How many of you have ever felt like your self-esteem was just really, really, really low? How many of you felt like your self-esteem was really low? Right? No, we are. How many of you ever had low self-esteem? How many of you ever felt lonely? Right? Thank you for being honest, Angie. How many, hey, Pure Joy, how many of you have ever felt lonely? How many of you have ever felt self-pity? How many of you have ever felt self-doubt and felt like a failure? Right? Low self-esteem. Brenda said, I have. Jason, currently, right? A lot of us are dealing with this stuff currently. Me, right? A lot of this stuff, like yesterday, right? And you're going through a lot this month, honey. So I get it. Terry, yes. Terry said, nope. Okay, so some people never felt like that, and most of us have. The weight of the world on your shoulders, right? Carla's like, me, this seems to be for me all day. It is. It's for, and I hope that you stay around because this is for a lot of us, right? So you said lies. At some point in our lives, at some point or another, we felt one of those things. Inadequate, low self-esteem, that we weren't good enough, all of those things. But don't worry about it. That's really common. That's really, really common. And many of us experience this. Thank you, Angie. A lot of us experience this. A lot of us especially experience this if we have some type of health issue. If we are overweight, if we are underweight, if we have high blood pressure, diabetes, in some form or another, if we are struggling with something as it relates to our health, we have felt this way. Right? Then that must be for you. New viewer, hey, Indianapolis. Hey, Carmela, thank you so much for coming in. So a lot of people have felt this way. You can have, I've met some people who don't have health issues, but they may have issues with their hair, like alopecia. They may have issues with the way their facial features look. They may have issues with their nails. Like a lot of people have issues with nails being too short. Like y'all think that they're small, but that's actually really big to some people. People have acne. People don't like people don't like their noses. They think their noses are too big. At some point or another, we felt like we weren't good enough and that something was wrong with us, right? If you've never felt that way, then I applaud the people that you have around you because they've done a really, 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 really good job of making sure that you never feel this stuff, right? Doctor told me depression is the top problem. Yeah. Yes. Metformin. Yes. A lot of people who are on medication for health issues actually experience a lot of other emotional issues, mental issues, because those are very huge side effects. Hey, Jen, very huge side effects of actually taking those medications. So here's what I experienced. So, hey, Val, thank you so much for coming in. So growing up, and I'll just tell y'all, I joke about it all the time, right? I joke about it all the time, but this is actually really true. I grew up being the brunt of a lot of jokes, right? My sister is quick-witted. She's quiet, but she's quick-witted. My sister is very, 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 very funny. But I had to get very, 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 very funny really quick if I was going to hang out with my cousin, because they are super hilarious, right? So my sister is funny, and she was quick-witted, and I used to have a curl, right? And I used to have a curl, and my curl was short. My sister had a curl too, but my sister's curl was long. My cousin had a curl, but her curl was long. And so they used to pair together and call me boy style, right? Funny. I don't have any issues with that. But they used to call me boy style, right? Because my hair was short like a boy. And they used to make a song up about it called Boy Style. That didn't bother me. My sister actually taught me how to be quick-witted. So I'm very funny, very witty, very sarcastic. And those of you who've been in my scope will see that. I learned all of that from my sister, right? That didn't bother me. But when I went to school and people talked about me at school, that's what bothered me. My sister, I don't believe my sister ever talked about my gap. She never talked about my gap. The only thing my sister talked about was my curl. I didn't realize that I had a gap until I went to school. I didn't realize that something was wrong with my teeth until I went to school. My sister never said anything about my teeth. She never said anything about that. She only talked about my hair. And that was funny. That was like kind of how we laughed. And we still laugh and play like that to this day. We'll talk about each other's hair or whatever to this day. And so that's just our bond. But when I went to school, I was talked about in a way that was very malicious. So I was just telling somebody this at work. And so my gap was big, right? And the kids, my sister had a curl too, yeah. And the kids would like hold up their hands like this because they would say that my gap was so big it looked like a goalpost. My sister had a curl and a gap with me, so it's probably why she didn't make fun of my teeth. But it will hold up the goal like this, and they will say that, that was what, hey, Bologna, thank you, a football could go through there. It was like a goalpost, right? So my sister, I remember her telling me, I believe that people also talked about her curl at school. So as long as it was coming from within the family and we were messing with each other, it was fine. But when we went to school, it's something about the way society looks at you that make you feel like you're not good enough or you're not adequate enough. Yeah, and people can be so hurtful, and children can be so hurtful, right? Children can be very, very mean, but my sister had a curl too, and people will talk about her curl too. So I know that affected her. So one of the things that happened was that we always focus on having good hair. So, and a lot of that shaped who we are now. Like for many of you, based on how you grew up and what you dealt with when you grew up, that has shaped who you are now, right? That has shaped who you are. That helped shape who we are, and I always Thank you, Toya. People will tell me that, but I just didn't feel that way. Thank you, Candace. People can be really mean, but we always made sure our hair was on point. And that's one of the things that we take pride in now, is having hair that looks good, because we were taunting about it when we were little, and it was something that people made fun of us about. So if any of you are in here and you've ever felt, hey, Lynn, that people have talked about, take a look at how you are now, and if any of that shaped who you are now. Because people think that because you make fun of kids when they're young, that just goes away. Hey, Jiggy, that goes away. People grow out of it. No, it actually shapes who you are. It shapes how you think about yourself, in the way that you think about yourself as it relates to whether you're good enough or not. So I had a gap, I had a curl, and I was chubby. So let's talk about that part, right? It doesn't go away, right, Walona? It doesn't go away. It actually sticks with you. Thank you, Pure Joy, for inviting your followers. So one of the things that I know, I was chubby, and Derek, I was not the popular girl. I hung around popular people, but I was not a popular girl. People knew who I was because of the crowd that I hung around. And I was in a sorority on in college, but like in grade school, I always hung around a popular crowd. Always was like the smart girl. Never was the one who had a boyfriend, right? Wasn't the one that boys was checking for. I just wasn't. Like, nobody was checking for me, and nobody was trying to race to be my boyfriend. Like, let's just be honest, that wasn't happening. I was always the, Virginia said me either, I was always the friend who was like goofy, who was funny, who had a funny laugh, who could hang out with the guys or whatever, and I was just a cute friend with a cute gap and a cute smile, right, Val? But I was never the one who they wanted to date. They wanted to date the other popular kids, right? So I say that to say that stayed with me as well. And I know my sister, I'm telling all her business, but my sister kind of like was the same way. She wasn't like a guy magnet either. Like, guys didn't run to either of us, and that was one issue my mom can say she never had an issue with us about. We never were sneaking out with boys, because no boys was trying to sneak out with us. But that was something that I know stayed with me. Thank you, Pure Joy. I just feel like I gotta say this, because I never ever tell this story. I never ever talk about it. Right? So I felt like I was not, I knew I was cute. Like, I felt like I was cute, but I didn't feel like I was cute enough. Does that make sense? I didn't feel like I was cute enough. I'm going somewhere with this, if y'all just stick with me, okay? So I'm fast forwarding to college, right? I'm fast forwarding to college. Didn't have a boyfriend all of high school. Liked boys, they didn't like me back. Wanted to date boys, they'd rather date the other girl on the drill team. They'd rather date the cheerleader, the light-skinned cheerleader with the long hair. Nobody ever wanted to date me. I just was around the girls who had boyfriends, because I never really had a boyfriend, right? So go fast forward to college. Made a lot of poor choices in men when I got to college. A lot of poor choices in boys, because I never felt like I was good enough. I never felt like I was pretty enough. I never felt like I was adequate enough. And I never felt like people would like me just for me. I always felt like there was going to be some underlying motive, right? I knew I was smart, and I knew people would call me cute, but I didn't know how cute I didn't really think that they meant that I was really cute, right? So I always kind of felt like, okay, they're just dating me. So I did have a whole lot of boyfriends, but I made some very poor choices in the people that I decided to put myself around, the people that I decided to date, all of that stuff, right? A lot of toxic people, a lot of toxic situations, okay? Because and it goes all the way back to me feeling adequate as a person who could be with somebody else. I never felt that way. And plus, I had lost weight in high school. Still could not get a guy to date me in high school after I had lost weight. So I was like, well, it's not the weight. Like, it's not the weight. I was small in high school. So it's not, no, you know what I said? I lied. I go back. I said, so it must be because I'm bigger. Let me close my gap. So I closed my gap because I thought that I would be prettier with my gap closed. Now, do I want to go back and have a gap between my teeth? No, I don't. But at that time, I was like, okay, let me close my gap. And by this time, though, I'm in a committed relationship. So I get into a committed relationship at the end. Hey, my 3 sons. I get into a committed relationship at the end. Hey, Live with Lovely, at the end of my junior year, beginning of senior year. in a committed relationship. That guy ended up being my husband. Very good guy, very great guy. However, there were a lot of things that I missed that I could have picked up on had I been who I am today, right? Because there were a lot of things that happened in the relationship that I had with guys, with friend girls, a lot of these things that I would not have allowed to happen had I known better about who I was. But because of just how damaged my self-esteem was, just how damaged I felt like as it related to how inadequate I was, I allowed a lot of stuff in my circle and around me that wasn't really good for me. So I got into a marriage, did the whole marriage thing, and that ended up falling apart because yet again, I did not know who I was, did not know what I was, did not know what I wanted, thought I knew what I wanted, but ended up finding out that I was doing what a lot of people wanted me to do, and that I was just trying to, this was my first time ever having a man who liked me for me and liked me for, like, just loved me unconditionally, so I thought. Right? Loved me unconditionally, so I thought, right? So this was a perfect relationship, right? I remember even telling my sister, I wish that I could give everybody this my husband because he's just this perfect guy. A lot of the things that kind of went right across my head because I did not know who I was. I did not know what I wanted. But I want to go back a couple steps. Want to go back, right? I started actually losing weight in 2004. I didn't say I was single. I started losing weight in 2004, okay? Hey, Sabrina, thank you for coming in. I'm going to reintroduce myself in just a second. But if somebody want to answer that. So I started losing weight in 2004. I was already with I was with my boyfriend at the time who turned into my husband. I started losing weight. No, we were together. I was heavy. I had got the heaviest that I had been. Andrew, you so silly. And I look back at that picture that I showed y'all and I was like, oh my God, how did I get to be that way? No, I'll tell you, listen, this is not going to be on replay. I'm going to give y'all the whole rundown I'm going to give y'all the exclusive rundown of my life that I never share with anybody. Y'all just stay to the end, okay? Thank you guys so much for the hearts, by the way. Y'all just stay because all of this is going to make sense after a while. You know how they say at church. Just stay because all of this is going to make sense after a while, okay? So, I'm dating a guy. We end up getting married. It's the biggest I've ever been. I end up losing weight. I get to a place where I've lost 52 pounds by 2007. Remember I said I started in 2004. Dr. J said I started in 2004. I ended up losing 52 pounds in 2007, and that was a weight that I thought I was good at, right? I really don't share. So that was the weight that I thought I was good at, right? But what was wrong with me, and I say wrong just for a lack of better words, is that I still was suffering with low self-esteem. I was suffering with loneliness. I was suffering with self-pity. I was suffering with self-doubt, and I was suffering with failure. But people on the outside, and my sister probably have never heard me say this either, but people on the outside, even my friend Shatana who's in here, would say, oh my God, you look like you had it all together. You were in grad school, you were getting a doctorate, you had a husband, you had a house, y'all had a dog, things were perfect, right? I still struggle with low self-esteem. I still struggle with loneliness. I still struggle with self-pity. I still struggle with self-doubt and failure. While I had all of that going on. Hey, Sarah, I think all of that going on. Okay? Because what had happened in 2003 was a precursor to all of this. Okay? Because I didn't know who I was. And all of this goes back. Even daddy issues that I haven't talked about. But daddy issues go all the way back because I felt like an inadequate human being. I felt like I had something so good. So when an incident happened in 2003 where my ex-husband cheated on me, my boyfriend, my fiance at that time, cheated on me. I'll get there. When my ex-husband, who was my boyfriend, my fiance at the time, cheated on me, and I knew that he did, I decided to still get married. I hope y'all don't rush this story. Just let me tell a story. Okay. Cheated on me, and I still decided to marry him. And one of the reasons why I decided to marry him, y'all said take your time like you in church. Hey, Debbie, I decided to marry him. Look at your neighbor and say, still get married. I decided to marry him because I did not know who I was, what I was and what I stood for. I did not. I did not know who I was, and what I stood for. Because I thought in my mind, and this is what the people around me told me. Now listen to this. This is what the people around me told me. They said, hey, you got a good man. You're going to believe that woman, or you're going to believe that man. Because a man is going to be a man, and you got to believe that man. Right? So my 25-year-old self got married anyway. Because in my mind at that time, the 25-year-old me was saying, oh my God, she's not going to get him. I'm going to get him. So this is a competition, and this means war. So she's not going to get him. I'm going to win. She said, you better tell my life. Listen, she's not going to win. I'm going to win, and I'm going to get him. Right? So I went and bought my dress, and I had my date in mind, and I got married anyway. Hey, Jacqueline. And I got married because I thought that was what I was supposed to do, and I knew this was a man that God had sent for me, right? I knew this was a man that God had sent for me. So I got married, and I remember being on my wedding day, still feeling inadequate, low self-esteem, feeling like a failure, having a lot of self-doubt, and having a lot of self-pity, and feeling very lonely. And I got married anyway. I was skinny. Yeah, I want y'all to catch what I'm saying. I was skinny, and I still felt on my wedding day. I remember feeling like I remember sitting on the stage at my wedding and looking at everybody like everybody is enjoying this but me. And I've never even shared that with my ex-husband. Never. Never. But I remember looking back on that, and I was like, everybody's enjoying this but me. I was skinny. I fit into my dress like a glove. I looked good, and I was lonely. I had low self-esteem. I felt like a failure, and there was a lot of self-doubt. But I was skinny, though. Because I say that because a lot of people are chasing skinny, and you still have low self-esteem. You still have loneliness. You still have self-doubt. You still have pity, and you still feel like a failure. Okay? She said catch, right? Right? So that's how I felt. Got married, right? 2007, we going on trips. We traveling with the family. Everything's great. Everything's good. Life is grand. And nobody knows what I'm dealing with inside of this situation. And it wasn't that he was a bad person. He was a good person, made poor choices, but was a good person. And both of us made poor choices because we were too young and didn't know who we were, didn't know where we were, didn't know what we were doing, right? So we got into this situation because it felt right at the time, right? And we knew we were supposed to be meant for each other, all this great stuff. Going on trips, hanging with the family, life is grand. 2009 comes. That's when things really started to turn around for me, and I really started to learn about my health. Because like I tell many of you, I was skinny fat. I was what you would call skinny fat, right? So I'm eating cereal. I'm eating cereal in the morning time. I'm eating cereal at nighttime. And I'm skinny, but I still don't feel adequate. And by 2009, I got my braces off by this time. So I'm supposed to look good, y'all. Listen to me. I paid to get my teeth fixed. I've lost the weight. I got a short pixie cut. That's my real hair that looks just like this. I'm supposed to look good, y'all. And I felt like I did, but I still felt like very self-conscious. And I remember asking my sister, saying, oh my God. Well, not oh my God, but I would ask her to tell me who I look like. I was like, how do I look? And Shatana saw me in Houston, and I was nothing like I am now at the time that Shatana met me. And Shatana met me in Houston. Thank you, Angie. Shatana met me in Houston. So I get to a place where I am like asking my sister, tell me whose size am I? Am I that person's size? Am I that person's size? Am I that person's size? So whose size am I? Like, tell me somebody on TV whose size I am so I can really know how big I am. Because at this point, I still don't know how big I am. I'm skinny, and I hear people telling me, girl, your head is getting too big for your body. But you are skinny, right? But I still didn't know what size I was. I still felt very, very doubtful, very self-conscious, felt like a failure every time I ate a piece of something that wasn't supposed to go in my mouth. Thank you, Monica. Felt like I was a failure every time something went in my mouth. Every time I had a drink, every time I had cake, every time I had Rotel dip, every time I had something, I felt like a failure. Right? Felt like I was doing something wrong. Right? Right? I do it by age, like how old do I look? Who do I look like? Right? Yes. So that was me. That was me up and down. That was me up and down. Right? So fast forward to 2000. So that's 2009. So I'm in grad school by this time. Right? I'm going and got a master's all through this. Okay? I've got a master's. I've got married. I bought a house. All of this stuff up through now. Now I'm in grad school. Okay? And I'm getting this psychology degree. I'm learning all these things about psychology. And one day it hits me like you really don't know who you are. You really don't even know where you're going. Everything that you have done up until this point has been done so that it fits within a certain narrative. Did y'all hear that? Everything that you've done up until this point has been done so that it fits into a certain narrative. Because I always told myself I'm going to be married by the time I'm 25. Check. I'm going to be out of the state of Jackson, be out of the state of Mississippi, out of the city of Jackson by the time I get out of grad school. Check. I'm going to be married. I'm going to have a house. Check. I'm going to be working as a doctor, and I'll be a doctor by the time that I'm 30. Check. All of these boxes I had checked, and my life was a check. My life was a to-do list. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? My life was a checklist. My life was a checklist. And I was doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do. I had did it to a T. I didn't have any kids. Check. I got married. Check. Had a good husband. Check. We had 2 cars. Check. We had a little white dog. Check. We lived in Houston where everybody went to feel like they made it. Check. And we were still very, very unhappy. Because we were at a place and nobody knew what was going on, where my husband had lost his job and I was in school, and that was the scariest time of our lives, right? So we are in this place, we're struggling, nobody knows, but we're trying to stay afloat, right? And I'm protecting my husband because that's what I'm supposed to do, right? So we're in this place. Then fast forward to 2010, God works it out, he gets the job, all of this great stuff, right? She said it needs to be a book. So all of this stuff, he loses his job. We go to church. Oh, by the way, Shatana knows we went to the same church. I'm in the church ministry. I'm serving on the church ministry. I'm in the marriage ministry. I'm at church on Wednesdays and Sundays because that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay? Still feeling very lonely. Still feeling very betrayed because I'm holding on to a lot of past hurt. Yes, the little white dog. Still holding on to a lot of past hurt. Still holding on to feeling like a failure because I'm in this situation and my marriage doesn't look like I thought it was going to look. So this is where I am, okay? So y'all hold on, and I'm going to go to a commercial break, and y'all just hold on because now we're in 2010, 2011, okay? No, Val. No, I'm going to get to that, okay? I'm going to get to that, okay? So I'm Dr. Ebony, y'all. I'm a lifestyle and weight management specialist to the people who are asking me what I'm doing and why am I here. I'm a lifestyle and weight management specialist. I lost 52 pounds, and I'm sharing my story of my emotional. So y'all know how you go do a computer and everybody sees the front end. So I lost 52 pounds, and now I'm sharing with you the back end of my journey. Okay, I'm sharing with you the back end of what it took for me to get to this place now where I'm helping you reach your goals. Okay, so I am here helping you create the life that you want, so that you can overcome a lot of this stuff that we're talking about today, because it absolutely can be created. It absolutely can be turned around. If you're here and you're like, girl, you are speaking to me and I don't even know you, but I need to talk to you a little bit more, get on my calendar for a free discovery session, okay? We sign up for a free discovery session so we can talk about what you're dealing with and get you on a plan to help you rectify some of this stuff and create the life that you want. Also, if you are on my mailing list, then you are wanting to sign up because you only got till midnight tonight for my workshop that's coming up on my goals workshop coming up on Tuesday for the next 2 weeks, where we're going to be putting together your vision, your goals, and a vision board, okay? So that you can figure out some direction in your life in this 5th month of the year so that we can finish 2017 with a purpose and with intent, okay? So that is who I am. That is what I am. And if you don't get it tonight, if you're in my group, if you're in my community, on my email list, if you don't get in tonight, you missed the $48 and you got to pay the increased price with everybody else, okay? Yes, Brenda, I saw that you signed up. Awesome. You're going to have a good time. So this Vision and Goals course is the foundation of all of my programs that I create. I pulled this part out of my courses, and I'm going to teach this specifically because I believe it's a foundation that people need, and they probably can't pay the money that I charge for they probably can't invest. Let me change my wording. They probably can't invest at the level that I have the price at. So let me pull this little part out and just teach this little part. And so you're getting the foundation of all of my health and wellness programs. So we're teaching goals for 2 weeks, 2 hours a day, which is going to give you the 4 sessions that is usually covered in my course. Okay, so back to the story. We're in 2010, 2011. Okay, everybody say, okay, I got that. Everybody say, I got that. I got the commercial. I got that. I got all of that stuff. Okay, thank you, but no thank you. Okay, got that, right? Got that. Okay. So we're in 2010, we're in 2011, and I'm in grad school. I'm getting ready to go to internship in New Orleans, right? Getting ready to go internship in New Orleans in Shatana. Just say I got you, friend, okay? Because I'm about to just my business, okay? To all about what's going on with me. So I get to this place where in 2011, okay, 2010, 2011, I am not in a place, and I'm just being honest because we all grown folks, okay? All grown folks, okay? Because my husband had cheated on me, let me go a little ways back. Because my husband had cheated on me, I felt like that was the ultimate betrayal, and because of that, I felt sexually inadequate in my relationship with my husband, okay? Our sex life was not what it needed to be, and we used to pray about it all the time, okay? I felt sexually inadequate. Nothing on him, but on me. I felt like that was a huge amount of betrayal that was lost. I felt like I never could open up to anybody like that again because that was the one person I had opened up to immensely, and that was gone. It was the ultimate betrayal. So we struggled in our marriage with being intimate and being sexual with one another because my trust had been broken. Right? My trust had been broken. Right? She said, "You're being real." So that is what happened. Right? So I felt like I could never actually get to that point. So for me, and I'm just being honest with me, my eyes started to wander. My attention from other people started to increase. Lock in and throw away the key. Absolutely. And that's what I did. I was holding a grudge I had not forgiven. And I was holding on to that tightly, and it impacted my marriage. Okay, it impacted my marriage, impacted the trust that I had within my marriage. So my eyes started to wander because at this time, remember, I'm skinny. Remember, I closed my gap. Remember, I look good. Okay? Remember, I look good. So the attention started to increase. I didn't feel like I looked good, but everybody else around me was telling me that I did. Okay? So that, she said, didn't that happen in 2003? What happened in 2003, Jacqueline? You may know. The cheating happened in 2003. Yes. But in 2010, I need y'all to still hear that I was still dealing with that. Right? I still need y'all to hear that because this is my story. So I don't care who goes back and tells who or who puts it on social media. This is my story, and nobody can tell my story like I can tell my story. And it can't be a secret if I'm telling it. I have no secrets. It's not a secret if I tell it. It's only a secret if you feel like I'm holding something from somebody, okay? And this is no secret. Okay? So that happened in 2003. I don't know. If I knew, it probably wouldn't have happened. I don't know why he cheated on me, and that's not my concern. That's his concern, because his cheating had nothing to do with me. Okay? But that's the Ebony in 2017 talking to you. That's the Ebony in 2017 talking to you. The Ebony in 2003 talking to you would have said he cheated on me because of something I did. Okay? He cheated on me because of something I did, and it was my fault, and I should have been paying better attention to my man. That's the Ebony in 2003, and that's what she would have told you. Fortunately, I'm not that ebony, and that had nothing to do with me. That had nothing to do with me. Okay? So, but we're in 2010 right now, okay? So my eyes start to wander. People start finding me attractive. All of the men that I thought that I never could get were starting to try to talk to me. And I was like, oh my God, people are finding me pretty. Remember, I told you, I used to be a girl back in school that nobody ever wanted to talk to, right? So now that these guys, these Kappas, these light-skinned, pretty men, Kappas, Qs, whoever, trying to talk to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I might take down your number, and I'm married. I might take down your number. Oh yeah, just Facebook me. Just message me. Because that's innocent, right? So at this time, because I wasn't secure in who I was, a lot of other people could grab my attention because I wasn't secure in who I was and I wasn't secure in my marriage. Right? Yes, guy, right? But that's 2010. Let's go a step further. And some of y'all ain't gonna like this, and some of y'all may drop off, but it's my story, and I'm gonna tell it. And if you don't want to hear it, then you got enough, and I hope you have a good night. Okay? But this is my story, okay? She said, amen, I've been there. So fast forward, choices and options. Sheree, I had choices. I had options. I had all of these things that were at my disposal that I never had before. Fast forward to 2011, and a whole different world opens up for me. Because at this point, I'm already not happy in my marriage. I'm already wondering. So now, I've already opened myself up to the possibility of a lot of other things that could potentially come into my life. Okay? Because I don't know who I am. I'm suffering from loneliness, suffering from self-pity, self-doubt, failure, all of that stuff. Okay? All of that stuff. So 2011 comes, and I end up beginning of 2011. I'm applying for internship, knowing about to go internship. Life is good. Life is good, right? Life is great. So I end up going on a trip with my homegirls. And because I've already opened myself up to the possibility of stepping outside of my marriage, a whole new world opens up for me. She said, cues music, cues the drums. A whole new world opens up for me. And in 2011, I have decided now that the world of women have opened up to me. And y'all can leave if y'all want. I'm not scared. Y'all can leave if y'all want. Y'all can leave if y'all don't like it. I'm not scared. Right? Don't sound like he wasn't my husband. And I'm going to get to that. He wasn't, right? He was my husband for that time. But the world of women opened up to me, and I realized that I am attracted to women. Okay? I realized that I am attracted to women. You can stay if you want, you can leave. Now's your time. Now's the exit. You can go if you want, you can stay if you want. Right? So that's my world. That's my world. That's where I'm living in. And so this is what happens. But in this moment, this is where things began to shift for me. And I realized, girl, A, you're not emotionally healthy. B, you're not physically healthy, because if you were physically healthy, you wouldn't be allowing the things into your space that you are allowing into your space. And you are not mentally healthy, okay? You got a lot of things going on. You are a hot mess. This is who I was. I was a hot mess, okay? A hot mess, okay? So 2011 come, ended up going on internship to New Orleans, and my marriage was in shambles. And it wasn't in shambles because I decided that I was going to just date women. It was in shambles because the ebony that I know myself to be was revealing herself. And the world that I was living in could not contain that. And I was going to have to make some choices, and I was going to have to make some choices quick. Right? I was going to have to make some choices quick. Okay? So it's like I was pushed into a new world, and it was all happening for me at a very quick pace, right? And so things were happening for me, and at this point, I've never felt more authentic in my life. This is 2011, y'all. This is 2011. I still love y'all too. I don't know why y'all saying still, but I love y'all too regardless. But I act like something wrong with it or something. But just stick with me because I'm not your average person. But y'all just stick with me and I'll tell y'all how I became who I am. Okay? So I actually never felt more authentic being in my life, right? Shatana never felt more authentic at that moment, and that's when my world began to shift. That's when I began to open up to who Ebony really was and who Ebony really was going to be, and some hard choices had to be made. Fast forward to 2011, 2012, I'm in New Orleans, I'm on internship, I'm away from my house, away from my husband, I'm still married, but I go back home after a year of being in New Orleans for internship, go back home only to leave again to move to San Diego. And at that moment, I decided that I needed to be authentically me for me. I was still a hot mess, but I needed to be authentically me in my hot mess for me. And a lot of times, what a lot of you are dealing with is you're not willing to be a hot mess for yourself, but you are a hot mess for other people. So either I was a hot mess for other people, or I was going to be a hot mess for myself. And I decided I was going to be a hot mess for myself. And so I was a hot mess for myself, and I separated myself from my marriage. Because I didn't mean him any good. I didn't mean myself at that moment any good. So I needed to get away because I wasn't mentally healthy. I wasn't emotionally healthy. And I wasn't as physically healthy as I could be. So I'm in San Diego in 2012, right? Partying, drinking, having a great time. Putting all types of things. I didn't do drugs or anything, but putting all kind of like alcohol in my body and really not caring what I did to my body. I was skinny still. I was skinny. I was cute. But I had all of this extra added attention that I didn't know what to do with because I've never been the person to have all of this attention. And I was thrown into a world that I don't think I was ready for. Okay? So I'm here. I'm in San Diego. And it didn't dawn on me. It didn't dawn on me until 2013 that I was in a hot mess of a position and I needed to do something about it. Toya, somebody's waiting on me. Somebody's waiting on me. I had a lot of baggage, but I was skinny. I was skinny. I had a lot of baggage, but I was skinny. Right? I had a lot of baggage, but I was skinny. On top of that, I was skinny and now I'm gay. Hello? I wasn't big in my marriage. Remember, I dated the guy. I met him in 2003. I lost weight in 2007. We got together in 2003, 3 or 4. So I had lost weight. I was skinny in my marriage. I was fat while I was dating him, but I was skinny in my marriage. Right? I was skinny in my marriage. But the attention that I started to get because I had lost weight in my marriage opened my eyes up to other things that led me to the position that I was in 2011 to allow now my attraction of women to manifest itself. Because all of this time, I knew I was attracted to women, but I thought it was a sin, right? I thought it was a sin, all of that stuff, right? So I'm going to get to that, Sky. All of this stuff was a sin. So I was like, nope, but I had already opened myself up to it. So now I'm in this place where I feel the most authentic I've ever felt in my life because now I'm living for me. Remember, I was living a checklist, but now I'm living like who I want to be, right? I'm living like who I want to be, who I am, who I feel most authentic as regardless of what anybody says, okay? So it didn't dawn on me into 2012, 2013 that I said, hey, you got to do something about your life and you got to do something about your life now. Because there's a lot of stuff going on around you that just makes no sense and you're too smart for that. You're way too smart for that and you got a lot of foolishness around you. Okay? And this is the talk I had to have with myself. So I'm here, I'm in this place, and I'm still a bit of a hot mess. Not as much of a hot mess as I was, but I'm still a hot mess, right? Because I can't figure my life out and I don't know. I still feel that Mississippi, I still feel that pull from my family in me like you have a good man, how dare you? Hey, Georgia Peach, thank you, honey. How dare you end something like that? So then creeps in failure. How dare you end something like that? You caused this to happen. You did this to this marriage, right? And some of you are probably thinking that. Some of you are probably thinking you ended your marriage because you decided to date women. And most of you have missed the entire story leading up to the cheating that started in 2003. Okay? But this is what happened, and I got fixated on the part that I was now dating women. And I got fixated on that part, right? I got fixated on that part that said, hey, you are at fault. You are wrong for having that happen, and you should have never done that. You should have never done that. You should have never dated women. You should have never allowed that to open into your space. That's a sin, and God is punishing you for it. That is what I thought. And now your marriage has failed. So increased failure, increased self-doubt, increased self-pity. Right? She said, you got me up past your... Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. So now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, I got to do something about it. I got to do something about it. So then, if y'all don't understand why I always talk about goals, here is why I always talk about goals. Because at this point I said, girl, what do you want for your life? And I remember being in a workshop, and I remember somebody saying, when you die, what do you want your tombstone to say? When you die, what do you want your tombstone to say? And I was like, if I die, my tombstone will say, she's scared, she's lonely, she's doubtful, and she feels like a failure. And I said, I do not want that for my life. More than I don't want to have diabetes, more than I don't want to have high blood pressure, more than I don't want to have to be obese and to be chronically overweight, I don't want to feel like I'm living for somebody else and I'm lonely. And I feel like a failure. And I feel like, and I got a doctorate by this point, y'all. Mind you, I'm Dr. Ebony Butler by this time, okay? So all of the signs should have pointed to me being successful and me being okay. Right? Right to the naked eye, I had everything. I had everything. I was skinny. I was educated. I had a doctor in front of my name. I was in California. I had an Instagram that looked like I was happy. Hello. I had a Facebook that looked like I was happy, and I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess. Hey, Francis, I was a hot mess. So I said, I got to get it together. I don't want that on my tombstone. I don't want people to remember me as a hot mess. What I want people to remember me as is somebody who was fearless, somebody who was brave, somebody who was courageous, somebody who made their own way out of no way, and somebody who said, I'm going to live this life whether you like it or you like it. I'm going to live it, and this is the way I choose to live it. And from that point on, that's when I got serious about the goals. I had already had goals. I knew I was going to the gym. I knew I was eating right. I knew I was going to run some miles. I knew I was going to do this. I knew I was going to do that. But all of that was for aesthetics. Y'all hear me? All of that was for aesthetics. I lost weight so I could look pretty. I kept it off so I could look pretty. And it didn't dawn on me, Francis, until 2013, 14-ish, that I was like, you are a hot mess and you've got to choose to get yourself together. I'm a doctor by this point, by the way, and I'm still a hot mess. And I said, you got to decide to get yourself together. And that's when I said, hey, Shayla, I got to do something for me. So I decided to create my very first vision board. I decided to create my very first vision board because I knew that I couldn't walk into the hospital that I was working every single day and help somebody overcome their illness, and my illness was smacking me dead in my face every day. My hardship was smacking me dead in my face every day. Every Thursday, like clockwork, I was having a breakdown because of something my ex-husband said to me or something I saw on social media. Every Thursday, like clockwork, I was breaking down. I was cursing. I was yelling. We were arguing because something I saw on Facebook. I'm way in California trying to regulate what's going on in Texas because that's just how much of a hot mess I was. And I said, you got to do something. It was the moment that I said, you got to take back your power. How are you going to take back your power? How are you going to take back your power? And I'm seeing a therapist by this time because I knew how much of a hot mess I was. And I said, I'm seeing a therapist and I have to take back my power. And so the therapist said to me, she said, you feel very powerless. You feel very, very powerless against this situation. And she said, you have got to figure out how you're going to get your power back. Right? Do you have any idea how many programs like this? I'm not here to sell myself to you. Goodbye. But I said, how am I going to actually get my power back? And so I decided to write goals. My very first vision board, and I decided to write goals. Okay? I decided to write goals. So many of you are like, girl, goals aren't that important. It was the staple between me being who I am now and me being a hot mess. Right? Yes, Lou. my very first vision board and my very first goals, and I'll tell you what that did for me. Because once I had an idea of what I wanted my life to look like, once I had an idea of what my vision, my self-identified vision was going to be, gay, straight, black, white, gap, fat, curl, straight, once I realized what my vision was going to be, that's when my life started to unfold and I started to feel powerful. I was arguing over a house that I didn't want to give up, and I created a vision for myself and said, this is the life that we want to live, and this is how we're going to do it. And slowly, because it didn't happen overnight, it did not happen overnight, but slowly I started to gain my power back in a lot of different areas. The first area where I gained my power back was in letting go of my house. If anybody knows how many times I mentioned that I bought a house, that was one of the most important things to me, because I grew up when my mom has never owned a house in her life. So for me to be able to buy my own house, that was huge. That was huge. So I didn't want to give up my house to somebody who I felt like was unworthy of my house. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Y'all hear the words that I'm using? That was an accomplishment. I didn't want to give that up because that was my house. Right? But I started there. I said, you know what? I'm in this program. Here's the vision that I want for myself. Here's the life that I want to live. And here's how I'm going to have it. And once I got clear on my goals for that, I let it go. I let it go. I let it go. Once I got clear on that, I let it go. And I said, you know what? You can have the house. I'll get another one. You can have that one. But I didn't know that I could get another one. I know, yeah, it's a glare on my glasses because of the TV. I didn't know that I could actually get another house because I actually did not have the power or felt like I had the power to do so. Right, Edie? Did feel like I had the power to do so. Okay? Because I was powerless. I felt like a failure. I felt self-pity. I felt self-doubt. But when I released that, because I said, I'll get another house. Like, girl, look at where you're going. Look at where you're going. Do you not realize where you're going? And a lot of you don't realize where you're going because you have no goals. A lot of you don't realize where you're going because you have no vision for yourself. And because of that, you feel powerless. You feel like you are inadequate. You feel like a failure. But if you really look at what you have going for yourself, you have way more going for yourself than you're giving yourself credit for. That's how I broke that chain. The first goal I had, I said, I'm going to buy another house. And I can buy whatever house I want to buy. And I'm going to get whatever house I want to live in. And it doesn't matter because it's going to be mine. Right? And I've basically been able to live wherever I want to live. And the only reason why I haven't bought now is because I'm moving around so much and I can't sit my butt down. But I'm here now and I'm ready to buy now. But when you realize that you have the power, how many years out do you set your goal? Okay, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Okay? So, all of this, I'm dating a woman now, all of this stuff, and then I'm still like a hot mess in that relationship because I took all of my baggage over here with this woman. So I said, you got to get clear. You got to get clear about this relationship and what you're going to do in this relationship. That was the second thing that I worked on my goals for that. I said, who are you going to be? What are you going to be? And how are you going to navigate this particular relationship right here? So I decided to settle myself down and get committed and do what I needed to do to make this relationship work, because this is where I felt authentic. Right? This is where, but I just finished school. Okay. You're getting your house back by faith? Yes. So this is what I had to get clear on. And I said, are you going to be here? I'm going to be here. I'm going to work on it. And this is who I am. And this is where I feel comfortable. This is where I feel like me. Yes, I bought the first one. Yes, Francis. I said, this is where I feel like me. So this is where I'm going to be, and this is what I'm going to work on, regardless of what my mama says, regardless of what my daddy says, regardless of what my sister says, regardless of what my auntie says, regardless of what my cousins say, regardless of what you say. I'm going to be me, and I got to make this work. Okay? So I decided to put my relationship on my vision board. And now I'm engaged today, but that's another story. But I decided to put my relationship on my vision board. Okay? Because I decided that who I want to be and who I see for myself is somebody who is committed, who knows how to make something work. And I'm not a failure because one relationship failed. I'm not a failure. But I felt like a failure because that relationship failed, and I was told that that relationship was more important than anything because it was a man. And I needed to make that relationship work with a man. But because one relationship failed, it didn't mean that all of my relationships would fail. I had somebody even tell me when I was in high school, no, I don't have children. I don't have children, which is a blessing. I had somebody tell me in high school, you don't know how to keep a relationship. And I thought that was my narrative. They said, you don't know how to be in a relationship. You don't know how to keep a relationship. So when my marriage ended, I blamed myself still because I was like, you did this because you can't keep a relationship. You can't keep a marriage. Right? So I decided to make goals for my relationship. And every single day, even to this day, I write down goals for where I want my relationship to go. And because of that, a lot of the toxicity that I had around me, remember I told you that I was a hot mess. All of the toxic people that I had around me, all the toxic things that I had around me, they fell away. They fell away. I was talking to people who meant me no good, and they fell away. Hashtag goals, right, Lou? And they fell away. Because now I knew where I was going, and I had a direct path to where I was going, right? And they just fell away, okay? So now, that was the second thing that I said. The third thing was, what are you going to do about this thing that you've been talking about with your sister? What are you going to do? I had all of these ideas. We had all of these grand ideas for how we was going to do My Sister's Keeper and how we were going to do My Sister's Keeper, but we never could do it because I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess. She was going through her surgery, what she was going through, and we never could get it off the ground. So we said, what do we want to do and where are we going to do it? Right? Moved it right on out of the way. Right? And all of that was gone. So now I'm in this situation where I have my sister telling me, okay, we need to get this started. We need to get this started. And I'm saying we need to get this started. And so my sister is like, oh no, we need to do a nonprofit. And I'm like, yeah, let's do a nonprofit. Matter of fact, let's not charge people for the services that we give them. Let's just do it for free because people struggle so much and we just want to help people. But out of that place, I felt lost. I felt like a failure and I had a lot of self-doubt. See how all of this stuff is showing itself? Showing itself in my thinking, in my steps that I'm taking in life. And so we get to a place where we're sitting down writing our plan for our business, and we're like, wait a second. Does this line up with my vision? Does this line up with who I want to be, and does this line up with who you want to be? And she's like, no, it don't really line up. And besides, people pay for what they want. I said, bingo. So out of that, we decided that we were not going to, she said, wait a minute, that is who we were, and I swear to you, I'm not lying. We were going to be a free health coach team where we were offering our services for free. Mind you, she's a mental health professional. I'm a mental health professional. But because we didn't know who we were at this point, this is still around 2013, 2014. We didn't know who we were. We didn't think that we were worthy enough for people to pay us. That we were like, oh my God, well, let's just do a nonprofit where we can kind of just like do a charity. Right, Toya? I was like, let's just do it so we can do it like a charity. And let's just help people because I know we didn't come from a lot of money and people don't come from a lot of money. So we want to help people. I'm just saying, I'm telling y'all the honest truth. I've never been so honest on Periscope in my life, telling y'all my entire life story because I never told all this before. But I want y'all to understand just how important it is to get your goals in order, get your vision in order so that you can increase your self-awareness. Because in your self-esteem, help equals poverty, right? So we were going to be in poverty. We were going to be in poverty doing all of this that we do now for the free. Because we didn't know who we were. We had a lot of low self-esteem, a lot of self-doubt, and we were like, oh my God, well, we can't charge people that. Girl, people not going to pay that. And we will literally say this to ourselves. Girl, people not going to pay that for us. Girl, people not going to want to do that. And we will literally do this until we got to a point where we were like, that's a lot of work, Keisha. And do you remember that woman that we're helping? Did you see that bag she just bought? And then we got angry. But we could be angry at the bag she just bought and her. We were angry at ourselves. We were angry at ourselves, right? Because a lot of what we wanted to do, we wanted to help, and we didn't realize that we were underselling ourselves because we had low self-esteem. And that still creeps in every now and then. But the way that I keep that at bay is I write down my goals and I say, okay, just like today, let me be 100%. I've been transparent this far. Let me tell y'all about this. Because y'all know, hey, Sharthia, y'all know, right, that we are a small business, and we started this in 2014. We got our life together, and we actually went live with it, actually helping other clients in end of 2014, beginning of 2015. No, beginning of 2015, end of 2016. Okay. It still creeps in, even to the point where I have to send emails out. Excuse me, I lied to y'all not. And I didn't even realize I was going to tell y'all this. But even when I have to send emails out, and I'm sending you 2-3 emails a day, and they're going to 2-3 email boxes that I know irritate y'all, and I have to come on Periscope, and I have to push my products, and I have to sell it. Sometimes I'll say, well, no, I'm not going to send an email out because people are tired of hearing from us. And nobody really wants to hear that we're selling something again. And so I'll doubt myself, and then I have to go back. Here's my book of goals. Here's my book of goals, by the way, y'all. And I have 3 of these. And I actually have worksheets from my coaches that I'm working on. And I'll say, well, look at your goals and see, do your goals line up with what you're feeling. So if you ever want to know why we continue to do this and we are still on Periscope when everybody else is ran off Periscope, it's because even if you don't need the money, like even if you don't need it, because it doesn't line up with my goals. So not sending out an email does not line up with my goals. But getting on here does line up with my goals. So regardless of if I do it, I got to do it anyway. I got to do it as vulnerable as it is, as vulnerable as it makes me, to continue to flood people's inbox, asking them to buy something from us. We've got to do it because that lines up with our goals. And that is for somebody here, I know. I know that's for somebody here, because I'm not the only business owner on here. But being a business owner is one of the most vulnerable places. And I'll tell you this, it's more vulnerable to me than admitting and telling people about my sexuality. Can you guys believe that? Really. I don't care what people know about. I don't care that people know I date women or I got a woman as a fiance, whatever. I don't really care. But to ask people to support my business, I've had to overcome that hugely, because that low self-esteem, that self-doubt, that self-pity, that feeling like a failure continues to creep in every single time. And the way that I combat it is I take myself right back to my goals and say, hey, does this line up? If it doesn't, then you need to do what you need to do. Right? So the same thing goes for my health. If I'm feeling down on myself, if I feel like my stomach is too pudgy, if I feel like my love handles are showing a little too much this week, I start feeling down on myself, and I say, hey, what lines up with your goals? What are your goals? And are your goals to work on that area, or are your goals to feel sad about yourself? Right? So every single time, so if you're somebody who's struggling with your health, and you're somebody who's struggling in your relationship, struggling in your marriage, my encouragement to you would be to identify a vision. Identify some goals, and every time you feel those emotions creep in, ask yourself, is that lining up with your goals? Right? Right, Thomas? Oh, thank you, Tawilla. Does that line up with your goals? Even more than that. Like, I want you to ask yourself that. I want you to ask yourself that, like Tawilla. Like, Tawilla, you came in, you said, I've had a bad day. I've had a bad day. Does that line up with your goals? Does that line up with your vision? You've done the vision work, Tawilla, so I know you got it. So, does that line up with your vision? Does that line up with your goals? And that's the question that I have to ask myself every single time. Even every single time I go live. Because I don't even want to sometimes. Like, my dog pissed me off. I don't want to come back. But I said, does this line up with your goals? And it doesn't. And that is seriously what I ask. You can ask the people who are in my smoothie challenge now. Every time they ask me something, I say, what are your goals? Because I can't tell you what to do with your life if you don't have goals and if you don't have a vision. If you don't have goals and if you don't have a vision. That's why it's so important for me to do what I'm doing for the next 2 weeks. That's why. Because a lot of us are out here just basically winging it. And we have no, and maybe we have goals. Maybe like somebody said, how far out do you set your goals? I set my goals far out enough for me to reach them. I don't set goals. Now, I'm a psychologist by training, and I'm a health and wellness coach by training as well. No, I'm getting married. I'm not married yet. But I set them far out enough for me to achieve them. The problem with the goals that many of you have is that you don't set them out far enough to achieve them. You set them too far out, and you can never reach them. Why would I set my goals out to lose 50 pounds in 12 months when I know 12 months take a while to get here? Right? That's what I'm saying, Toy. Why would I set that out like that? So what I do is I help you break that down so that you can master it in a way that is effective so that you can see some results and see yourself mastering it, and then you move on. But the problem with so many people, like say for instance me, had I been focused so far out and I said, I'm going to wait till we get our lives completely together, me and my sister, right? I'm going to wait till we get our lives completely together, girl, because my life is just a hot mess. I'm going to wait till we get it completely together. We never would have identified a way to just start. Because many of you are just waiting till you're perfect, and that's never going to happen. So we started being less of a hot mess. We started this helping people in less of a hot mess than we were, or than I was. And we actually started somewhere and started small. Even as a hot mess, we started small. Even as a hot mess, we started small. Even as a hot mess, I decided to work on a relationship that meant something to me, than to stay in one that I knew I was being inauthentic in. Even as a hot mess, I made that decision. But many of you are waiting until you're perfect, and you're never going to be. So I encourage you to find a point where you can say, hey, I'm a hot mess in the way that I eat. I'm a hot mess in the way that I navigate my relationships. I'm a hot mess in the way that I talk to people. I'm a hot mess in the way that my attitude is. I'm a hot mess in the way that I gossip about people, but I need to start somewhere. Even in a hot mess that I am. And I got to decide to do it now. Right? This is right, you right? This is true. And a lot of us feel this way, and we'll never completely be perfect. I'm still a hot mess in a lot of ways. Not as much of a hot mess as I was. But I got a little mouth on me. Y'all know I'm sarcastic. I got a little mouth. Like I can snap. I can snap a little bit. Right? Thank you, Tamika. And I'm still a hot mess in that way, and I'll never be perfect in that way. But I'm starting somewhere, and every time I'm getting better. Like Shatana will tell you, I wasn't this way when I was in Houston. I was a little meek, little timid, little something I like to believe. I wasn't this way when Shatana first met me back in 2008. You mature yourself, and I mature myself by focusing on my goals and the greater vision that I have for my life. So now, I don't feel like a failure. I don't care who unsubscribes from my list. She said, Shatana used to call me a little school librarian. I don't care who unsubscribes from my list. I don't care what piece of cake I eat. I don't care what piece of nacho I eat. I don't care what alcohol drink I have. If I know I'm doing it within the range of my goals, I don't feel like a failure. I can't tell you how many times y'all have come into my scope and said, oh my God, I've been bad today. Oh my God, I messed up today. Oh my God, I failed today. I don't feel like a failure. I don't feel like a failure. I don't feel like a failure when I eat cake. I don't feel like a failure if I have a drink. I don't feel like a failure if I eat a nacho. I don't feel like a failure if I eat Doritos, because I know that I'm doing things that are in line with my goals. But when you don't have goals, you feel like a failure. Every day is a do-over. But now here's the thing about do-overs. Every day is not a do-over so that you can justify what you're doing so you can do it over again. Hey, Caroline. Understand that. Every day is not a do-over so that you can do it over just to justify it and continue to do it again. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if it lines up with your goals and who you are, you don't have to feel like a failure. I don't have self-doubt. Sometimes I do have self-doubt. I have to correct it. So the self-doubt that I had when I was younger, I don't have it as much now. The only self-doubt I have now is around my business. Thank you, Georgia Peach. The only self-doubt I mostly have now is around my business. And am I going to be successful or not in this business? That's what I have. The self-pity, I don't really have a lot of self-pity. I don't have a lot of self-pity unless I feel like I hurt somebody's feelings and I feel really guilty. I'm way more confident now. Like, many people, like, let me just tell y'all about these glasses that y'all can see, right? I showed my friend my glasses. It was actually my other glasses. This is a new pair, right? As long as you put in work and stuff. Yes, Toya, but that comes with me identifying my goals and reaching my goals regardless of what anybody has to say about it. So my glasses, right? I was on FaceTime with my friend. I said, girl, I got some new glasses. And she bust out. Oh, good, Caroline. She bust out laughing at me. And she said, Ebony, please. Okay, go. See you later, Gloria. She said, Ebony, please don't wear those glasses outside the house. She said, please don't wear those glasses outside the house. They look a mess. But because I know who I am, because I know what I am, because I know where I'm going, and because I don't need anybody's validation but mine, I could care less what somebody thinks about my glasses. Because I'm on national internet with these glasses on. How did you keep going on days where you wanted to give up with my goals, Melissa? That's a very good question. Who cares? Right? Hey, to Willis, I'm coming on Facebook. Because I have goals. So on days that I want to give up, I look at my goals and say, what makes sense for you to do that's going to move you towards your goals? Is this going to move you towards your goals? Like today it was raining, right? Today it was raining. And I said, is that going to move you towards your goals? Because I didn't want to go out there and work out in the rain. I tried to find every excuse to work out in the rain. I was like, this is too hard. It's raining. I'm going to be sick. Thank you. When do you would define business as I missed that. When would I'm a success. My business is a success. I'm here talking to y'all. This is a success. I wouldn't do this a long time ago. I wouldn't get on camera because I felt like somebody was going to talk about my teeth. I felt like somebody was going to talk about my hair. I felt like somebody was going to find out I was gay. Y'all ain't with me, are y'all? There would be a time when I would not come on social media and say one word because I felt like somebody was going to judge me. But when I look at my goals and I say, hey, does this line up with where you want your business to go? And I say, no. Y'all, listen. No, it doesn't line up. So when I decide on the day that I don't want to work out, I say, what goal do you have for this week? And does that line up with that? Right? Everything we do will either move us toward our goal or away from our goal, Edie. That is so important. That's tweetable. I may give you credit for that tomorrow in the Instagram post. Everything I saw you. Oh, thank you, Lou. It has. It really has, Lou. It really has. I become inspired when people can come on with Jack T. Yes. I appreciate when people can come on looking a hot mess. Like I don't have but a half an eyebrow on each eye today, and that's fine. That is completely fine. Because y'all still stay with me more. Y'all stay with me longer than when I have my eyebrows drawn on. But I have 2 half eyebrows to equal 1 eyebrow today, and y'all are still here. So that is a success. So anytime that I feel like I reach my goal, that's a success. Okay? That's a success. So a success, and then the thing that I think of that we do in business is it needs to be astronomical. Like it needs to meet somebody's $125,000 a month to be successful, and you lose sight of the itty bitty goals that you're making and accomplishing along the way. If I focus on somebody else's $125,000 that they made this month, I'll never go live. I'll never reach my goals. I'll never help somebody. I'll never schedule that consultation session. I'll never hire that coach. I'll never, ever, ever hire to work with somebody one-on-one because I'm too afraid. But if I focus on the small things, then I feel like a master. Did somebody catch that? If I conquer the small things, then I feel like a master. So if you're wondering where my confidence is coming from, it's because I've mastered so many small things that I know I've given myself confidence that I can master the bigger things. Hey now. Thank you, Melissa. You're welcome. Because I've conquered so many small things, I can go live. I can work with somebody one-on-one. I can have a 12-week client. I can make money. I can do all these things. So now my confidence, because I've conquered small things, I can feel like I can do whatever. Right? And that's the same thing that goes with your weight and your health. If you conquer it bit by bit, you allow yourself to become a master. But many of you can't even give appreciation for the small bit by bit that you can't even become a master. You can't even become a master. You can't even feel like a conqueror. So that is why I'm doing the workshop in the next 2 weeks. All of this has happened to me. My life has ended up like it was. My life was a hot mess. All because of this. Because somebody needs to learn how to direct their life in this same way. I followed you for a while, but I will say much. But you don't say much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for finally saying something. She said I need to be picked up off the floor. Somebody pick Lou up. Somebody pick Lou up. But all of that you're going through, all of that you're dealing with, is to help you help somebody else. But you can't get there if you don't get yourself in order first. All of this is to help somebody else. All of this. All of this was for me, and then for me to help my sister, and then for my sister to come together and for us to help somebody else. Okay. All right. I'm about to wrap up here now. But that's exactly why I'm steadfast doing what I'm doing. Okay? So if you are ready to get yourself in order, if you are ready to get in order and you know that you can invest $48 for a $127 program, come on and join me for the next 2 weeks so we can help get your vision outlined, help you get some goals, and get you a vision board that you can actually use and something you can actually work on, okay? Twice I heard this word preached. Then it's for you. It's for you. She said, don't go yet. Monica, I got to go to bed. Valerie, you're going to quit. Valerie insists that I'm an evangelist, and I tell her, girl, I'm a teacher. I'm an educator, but I'm not an evangelist. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. So I'm getting married in November. Where do I sign up? So Ms. Moore, are you on my email list? Are you inside of my Facebook group? Because if you're not, you can send me an email. If you're not, you can send me an email, because until after midnight, it goes up to $67. She said, you just realized this month? I missed that. I helped you. Thank you, Derek. I'm so happy. Wait, what happened because of that? You're trying to find it, but are you, because I sent out another one today. Is there a specific way to put your vision board together? There's not a specific way to put your vision board together, but I have a special way that I like to go about doing it that I found effective for my clients, that we put it together that way. Because I, as a psychologist and as a health coach, I don't focus on just weight. So we put it together for a range of areas. So I will be giving out information for how to do that as well. I have a shot of metabolism, so you think it can't be fixed. I have a shot. Oh yeah. You can fix that. You created it. You can fix it. Yeah. I'm not. I'll check. Okay. Well, email me. So email me at Dr. Ebony Online. If you are not on my email list, and if you know that you for sure want to get into this workshop and you know you're not on email list, you have until midnight, you can email me and I'll send you the link. You can email me and I'll send you the link. And it's Dr. Ebony Online. Dr. Ebony Online. Okay? Dr. Dr. Ebony Ebony Online. And it's actually the last part of my link in my bio. Dr. Ebony Online at gmail.com. At gmail.com. Okay? But I gotta get out of here because I still have not eaten dinner, so it's gonna be a quick one, and I gotta get myself in the bed. But thank y'all so much for listening to my story. I will not keep this up on replay. But thank you guys so much, and I'll be back with you tomorrow for more information for how you can get some tips for how to set your goals and all of that great, fantastic stuff. The key is to stay in line with your goals. Yep, you will be okay. Feel like you're talking my future. I'm doing the masters and going through. Oh yeah, girl, grad school is not for the meek. It's not for the meek. Thank you, Soror. Thank y'all for being here. Good night, Francis. Y'all are blessings. Thank y'all for letting me share my story in a space that felt safe and in a space that allowed me to be vulnerable and be a hot mess tonight, okay? even with my dog pooping on the floor, y'all allowed me to be a hot mess. So kudos to you. Okay, kudos to you. I slayed this though. Yes, Lou. Yes. Good night, Willona. Good night, y'all. So I gotta go now. I gotta go get myself together because that's a lot. I gotta go write in my gratitude journal now because that's a lot to disclose. That's a lot to disclose to people you've never seen before in your life. I love y'all so much. I love y'all, and I feel like I know all of y'all. By the way, we'll say she didn't. Wait, I didn't look like I would open up like that. To my friends, I'm not a private person. Like, I don't meet a stranger. But I never open up this way online because I never know whose hands it's going to end up in. But I don't care. Now I don't care. I really don't. Okay, y'all. So I got to go. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have an awesome and amazing night. I didn't see you come in, Marcia, on YouTube. I got a YouTube by itself. I don't like this looking down and not looking at the camera. So we're going to fix that. But I'll talk to y'all later, okay?